You are listening to the Doc Malik podcast. This show is 100% independent and fully funded by listeners like yourself. So, if you wish to support Ahmed in all that he is doing, then please subscribe to his channel on Spotify or his Substack. Or simply buy him a coffee with a one-off donation, links to which can be found at docmalik.com. Now, let's get on with the show.
Anything like this.
You love all this kind of stuff. I mean, you're used to talking. You're used to talking in front of the camera to all your lovely people. So it's fine.
Non-stop. It's called verbal diarrhea.
Yes. Right. Listen. You want the good news?
Yes.
I don't have a neck problem. I don't have a neck problem anymore.
I know.
How'd you know?
Because you didn't have a major neck problem anyway. I wasn't that worried about you.
Are you kidding? For 6 months, I've been living through hell. I've been sleeping on the floor. I never found a position of comfort. I was going insane with the pain. Like, I didn't think I was going to get better. And then my spinal surgeon's like, yeah, this is why you got like 2 massive disc prolapses. And yeah, it's going to get better, Ahmed. Trust me, you're going to do it. I was like, I will. But, for a long time, I never thought I was going to come out of that pain. It was just fracking miserable.
I just think when you're in pain, it becomes all encompassing, and you just have to try and chill and if you can find one place that you're not in pain, then that's the beginning of the end.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, I'll take that. Anyway, there's some bad news.
What's the bad?
So the bad news is last Monday, I was like, oh, I want to exercise. And I picked up a big kettlebell, I swung it, and on the third go, my back went bang. I could barely get off the floor. No radiculopathy. And it's getting better. Like, it's now 9 days, and, I'm walking, but it just aches down L5-S1. But it's an achy, facety, ligamentous, jointy pain. It's not, I don't think it's discogenic, and it's getting there. But, yeah.
Why haven't you called me?
Because I thought this would make for a great conversation on the podcast.
I love it. I always get worried about L5-S1. I think that's a really nasty place to have anything going on. But I've got an amazing exercise for this. It's called Alistair's exercise, because I had a guy exactly the same problem. And this is just amazing. I've got the exercise to do. So we will speak later on when I get home tonight. And then I will give you the exercise.
Even better, when's your next online class?
Tonight.
What time?
Tonight, 7:00.
Okay.
I had to cut my one short early this morning because I had a 8:00 this morning, and I had to get down to Plymouth. So it's like, you've only got half an hour, chaps. But they were good. I had 30 this morning.
Oh, wow. So, I mean, the other thing as well is I thought there's no point talking to you right now because I'm in so much pain. I can't even do anything. I can't move. There's nothing I can do. But the other thing as well is it was really bizarre. I wasn't worried. Like, it's nothing like the neck pain that I had. There's no radiculopathy, and I can get into positions of comfort, and it's getting better every day. I've been here a few times in the past, with my history, so I know what it's like, and I know what it'll get better. So I wasn't panicky. I wasn't down. I was very upbeat. Even when I was in pain, I was like, it's all right. I've been here. So yeah, very different from my neck, by the way. Just, I'm in a good place.
I think we all get very frightened of neck pain because it's the beginning of the spinal cord, isn't it? And if anything is going to go wrong, and if it's bad with the neck, the rest of the body is going to be impacted. But also, I think when you've been through pain, luckily I'm an older therapist. I'm getting to that. I'm picking up my pension now. I tell you, I love it. But because I'm an older therapist, I've had all these different pains in the past. And so it doesn't frighten me. And as long as I can put the encouragement through to my clients, that's what I'm looking for.
All right. Well, let's talk about some of the stuff you're doing. Caroline Clarke, postural alignment specialist. What the hell do you actually heal your pain? Like, what are you all about, lady? Because a lot of people listening haven't got a clue. Some people will be like, oh yeah, Doc Malik mentioned her. She was instrumental in getting his neck better. Like, who is she all about? What's she all about? So yeah, give me a little background story. Fill me in here.
Okay, so I have been a farmer's wife. I'm still, well, man's retired now, but I've been, a lot of my life is in the equestrian world. And so I've had so many backaches. I probably was in pain from the age of about 18 till my early 50s. And that's when I found posture alignment. I actually went into it because my husband had a really bad knee. And yeah, he's lazy, Git. He's so lazy. He's actually now doing the exercises. Like, I'm about 13 years into doing this. He's now doing my exercises and he's got out of pain, but it's taken me 13 years to get him to do it. But having said that, I saw it was so easy, and I can't emphasize that enough. This isn't rocket science. It's not rocket science. All we're looking at is if the body is out of alignment, then you're going to be in pain. There's a blueprint for the human being standing, and there's a blueprint for walking. And if we violate those blueprints, we're going to have problems. So I came into it 14 years ago, and I just love it. It's built probably during COVID. That sounds awful, was my best time, because all of a sudden my business, it grew 250% almost overnight, and I went worldwide. I don't want to be too huge. That sounds awful. I'm always getting people saying to me, we could build you. We could get so many poor people subscribing to you and things, but that's not where I am. I want to help people, and I want to know my subscribers. I don't want to have millions of people who are just there. I love talking to people.
Yeah, well, having joined in a couple of your online classes, yeah, it's hilarious. Like, while you're exercising and telling people what to do, you're yabbering away, hey, welcome, Andy. How's your dog doing? You're like, what? Hello, Deborah. How's your divorce going? You're like, what? It's like you seem to know everything about everybody. It's hilarious.
I do have to shut them up sometimes. They can get, the clients can get a bit over the top. But I do believe that, the body is just one of our systems. Our musculoskeletal is just one of the systems. And we've got to look at, I'm not one of these, like gentle exercises. We do gentle exercise, but the thing is to get you out of your mind as well. Because if you are all encompassing about pain, it goes into the system, and then the brain gets fugged up with it. Well, you know about this. I can't tell you enough about that. So if I can make you happier at the end of the class, then you're going to feel so much better. And you've forgotten, I can be working on somebody's, say, hips, and they've had a bad shoulder, and I'm going, oh, how's that shoulder feeling? What shoulder? I've forgotten about that. So if I can get you to forget the pain for a little while, just give you tiny little bites of forgetting things is so good. Yeah.
I also like it when you're quite funny sometimes. I mean, you're funny all the times, but sometimes you're a little bit more funnier. So, for example, you ask someone about something and they start talking. You're like, okay, enough of that. That's not that interesting. Let's move on.
We don't need an email about it. We just, yes or no will do. Yeah. Right, I am rude to people.
No, it's funny. Yeah, you are rude, but it's in a funny way, and everybody still loves you. But listen, tell me, Caroline, why did you get into it 14 years ago? Like, what happened suddenly? What made you think, boom? Did you see someone? Did you have a mentor? Were you inspired by someone? Did God put a thought in your head? Like, what happened?
I was going to see this guy in Surrey, and his name's Quincy de Rubu, and he's like a witch doctor. He is a witch doctor. And he kept saying to me, you need to look at posture alignment. You've got to look at posture alignment. And so anyway, I bought this book called Heal Your Pain. And Free Your Pain, that was it. And I read it and I thought, oh my God, this is so easy. This is so simple. And it was stories about people being in pain and how to get them better. And I started reading it because, being dyslexic, I don't read an awful lot either. And so I read it and I thought, this is amazing. So I thought this would be good for Richard. And we went to see somebody up in Windsor who's actually not in the country anymore. And I thought, this is really good. And he did his exercises for at least 3 weeks and his legs got straighter and he felt better. And I said to Richard, I've got to do this. I so want to do this. And he went, you're never going to do it. Well, that was like red rag to a bull with me. If somebody tells me I can't do something, that's it. I'm jumping in there both feet. And so I took on a module and I thought, yes, I can do it. It was hard because listening to about planes, frontal, sagittal, transverse, I couldn't even spell them, let alone anything else. So once I got it, and when I get things, I really get things. And then teaching so many classes has been amazing because I feel what the clients are feeling. And so if somebody says to me, oh, like you, when I talk to you, you go into these muscles. Well, I've never heard of the muscle. I don't know where it is. And then you go, oh, well, it's here, Caroline. I go, oh, that's it. I know how to get to that place. So I just need to know where I'm going for. I'm not symptom driven unless I'm on classes. But when I see people as one-to-ones or, in person or online, then I'm looking at the structure of the person and seeing what's wrong. I was working with a guy last week who was like, it's all about his back, all about his back. Well, I've never seen calf muscles. Yeah, calf muscles like this. They were huge, little skinny thighs, big calf muscles. And I went, this isn't right. You shouldn't have calf muscles like that. So it's what looks wrong. And so we started working and I gave him a lot of thoracic work so he could open that back up. And it wasn't about the lower back, nothing about the lower back. It was just overworking. And so then we did some I work with somebody 3 times in a row. So I work with them in person, online, and then I see them online 3 times. And yesterday he was saying, well, do you know what? I can get in and out of the car so much easier now. Everything's feeling so much easier. But he said, I can see what you mean about my calves. I'm like, yes, really? And his butt muscles were not working. When I was saying clench your bum, he was like, can't do it. My calves muscles are doing it, but my bum muscles aren't. So we got him to use the bum muscles and all of a sudden there's no bad back, nothing. Love it.
Well, listen, I'm going to take up your offer. Afterwards, at some point, let's do something online. I want you to look at me because I'm a bit skew with right now. And, remember you told me my right leg externally rotates. I really don't like the fact I can't internally rotate it that much. And I think my lower back's just been working too much. I'm not going to do kettlebell swings. And I've had enough of that. I just want to be pain-free and exercise, but not be crippled. But I'm getting better, but I want your advice. The thing is, it's funny, when you did the online stuff with me, you were able to pick up things very, very quickly from my gait, from the way I was standing. I was quite impressed, by the way. This is online. I mean, online's quite incredible. Like, without even touching me, without even being in the same room as me, you were able to figure out quite a lot of stuff. I mean, is that just been over the years of practice and just seeing so many people, and that's how you've developed this sense of knowing what's wrong and what's right?
A few things. So I really believe that what we do all our lives is to be where we are now. And so equestrian world, I was in the showing world, riding to high level, or nationally, and seeing horses that don't look right. What doesn't look right? So gait to me is a big thing. My eye is drawn to whatever doesn't look right. So if I see photographs of people front, back and both sides, my eye is drawn to something. They might say I've got a bad shoulder, but it could be a hip's not working properly and that's causing the bad shoulder. They could be having your footfall isn't correct. So I just look and see what isn't right. And then the big part of it is feedback. It's what you're telling me. So when I do an exercise with you, I want to know everything that's feeling. What does one side compared to the other side feel like? Is it different? Do you feel more discomfort one side? You might even feel more discomfort on the side that isn't hurting. So it's just feedback. It's, everything because you live in your bodies. I don't. I could have 3 people DM that exactly the same symptoms as you, but they need different exercises because of their feedback. So that's how I do it. I listen.
And so, where do you think you live? What space do you live in? It's not physiotherapy. It's not osteopathy. It's not chiropractor. You're not a sports therapist. You're not a personal trainer. Like, what are you?
Special. I think I'm a client-driven therapy. I look at it says what it says on the tin, heal your pain. That's what I do. I look for how to heal your pain. And it's normally through something isn't right in the body. If you think we've got four load joints: our shoulders, our hips, our knees, and our ankles. If you were to look down from the universe right the way down and you can see more than just the shoulders, you are out of alignment. So if I saw one shoulder forward and I could see the hip and everything down that side, I know where to go, get the shoulder back. So it's really what isn't right. And then listening to you when I do an exercise to see how it feels.
Form follows function.
Perfect. I couldn't have said it any better. You see, you're already there. And now the most exciting thing is I've started teaching other people what to do. And it's so exciting that, because Sarah Jane is the reason I met you, and she is an amazing therapist. And she just wanted that little bit of extra to put into her therapy, which she is now doing the posture alignment alongside. And it's just been amazing. So I'm working with chiropractors, I'm working with PT instructors, and with physiotherapists, all sorts, because they're just lacking that one little bit of knowledge, which is what I do.
Okay, so let's take the postural alignment. So I think, look, the human body's been beautifully designed for a reason. You got the cervical lordosis, the thoracic kyphosis, the lumbar lordosis, the sacral kyphosis, and then what you get? you get balance. You get the yin and the yang, and you get the balance. And if you've got lordosis, that's not going to work. You know, like even if you get one out of kilter, it's not going to work. But sometimes you get people who've got fixed structural deformities and abnormalities. You got, for example, a patient with arthritis on the inside part of their knee. So their joint space is narrowed and now their leg goes into valgus, their foot goes out. You know, how can your exercises fix that? Because that's like now a structural abnormality. And sometimes in some people with chronic deformity, it just gets fixed. Like if you look at my mum now, she's got a little hunchback. Like if I tried to straighten her back, I'd probably crack her ribs and her spine. So like what I'm trying to say is like, how much can you actually help people like correct their postural malalignment?
When you're looking at young people, very quickly, when you're looking at older people, I'm trying to keep them out of pain. So I've got a lady who's nearly 80 and she's got the worst scoliosis. So that's when the upper body has got a curvature to the side, but also the spine rotates at the same time. Now, if I can keep her out of pain, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not going to make somebody like that straight again. It's been too much time. She's been a farmer's wife, and she's done a lot of cleaning and bending over the whole time. Also, when you're talking about different things, if you're when you're talking about a scoliosis or a big abnormality in the spine, there are any joints one on top of the other, and I think people get very frightened. Speaking as a doctor here, he's coming out, lordosis. Now, people might not know what lordosis is, but it's actually a forward of the body. So you're actually, you're only stuck, and the pelvis rotates. So there's a big arch in the lower back. So what you've got to do is you've got to work with the hips, so the hips can free that pelvis and let the back come into a better position. Now, very often the thoracic back, as you were saying about your mother then, is slightly kyphosis, so it's got that curvature. Now, what happens then is if you've got an excess curvature, there should be an S-curve in the spine, but if it's a really big one in that thoracic spine, then the neck is going to overwork, and then the lumbar spine is going to overwork. And where we should get all our movement is that thoracic spine. So you've got 12 vertebrae between the neck and between the lumbar spine. Now, if we don't have movement, either extension and flexion or rotation, then what's going to happen is the neck's going to take on extra work and the lumbar spine. And the lumbar spine is not designed for rotation. It is for stability. And your lumbar spine and your neck should have almost exactly the same curvature. So if they don't, they're going to start overworking. And that's when, people with herniations get very, very frightened, but that's the body telling you something. And I think from the doctor's point of view is that it's like, well, how can I fix it? Make it do this, or do I give drugs to make it do that and take the pain down? Right. Wind back, go back to why. You look at the knee. Now, a valgus knee is when you go knock-kneed. So the hip the hip to the knee goes in and kicks out at the bottom. So you look like a sickle-hocked horse or whatever. I go to equestrian here. And so one leg could do it or both legs can do it. Now, if you look at it, it's a bit like a car. If you've got a car and the tracking's out, what is going to happen? First of all, you're going to wear the tyre down on one side. All right. So you'll probably find that you walk and you're not heel strike, toe strike in a correct way. You're going onto the outside of the foot or whatever. Then you look at what goes next. Well, we could actually then burst a tyre. Right. Are we going to have a knee replacement? Are we going to have a hip replacement? So, you've got to go back to you're not in alignment and you're working one side more than the other. So you've got to get that structure back into alignment, and then it's going to get better and better and better.
Okay. I love it. I love it. The other thing I wanted to say was, what about your back? All those pains that you were in, were you able to cure them and fix them?
Right. This is where I get good again. All right. I get really good at this. My husband has gone through, oh my God, it was awful. I found him upside down these stone steps, unconscious. I was about to teach a class. I was like, oh my God, I didn't go out with my phone. I didn't go out with anything. Well, if that isn't stress, I don't know what is. So what happens then is my body goes, oh! A week later, my lower back went. It was stress related. If you think your lower back, a big muscle is your primary hip flexor, which is called the psoas muscle, and that's attached to 5 of your vertebrae. Now, that pulls that back forward to give you that slight arch in the lower back, but also it's your fight and flight muscle. It's where all your emotion happens. So that was pulled forward, and it went like this. And as soon as you go into contraction, which is going, because that's the muscle going, ouch, and it isn't letting go, which is what's happened to you at the moment with your lower back. That's just gone, oh, he's overdone it. I'm going to contract. We've got to let it to release. So we need to either exhaust it to make it release or just do some restative exercises to let the back realize, go back to its blueprint, go back to where it should be. And so that's why I had it.
Interesting. Let me fill you in some stuff then. So the weekend before my back went, I just finished my summer retreat and it was amazing. It was lovely.
Oh, I love it.
But it was exhausting. It was exhausting. Like I gave 150% of myself. I was there for everyone. I was cooking and cleaning. I was taking part in the sessions. I was running sessions. I was organizing the speakers and the therapists and making sure everyone was happy. And honestly, by the end of it, I was spent. I think I was broken. Like it was too much. I was just like, wow. So, don't get me wrong. I've had amazing feedback. People have said it was wonderful. I've just read from Ava. I'd like to thank you once again for such a wonderful weekend. I'd love to be able to volunteer my time next time for you. And that's nice. It was transformational. Someone else has written down. It was the most magical weekend ever. Can we do it again? Another one, just loading it. I'm so pleased I joined you and met great people, gentle souls who appreciate life and nature. Many thanks for organizing it. And I'm sorry you didn't get the restful experience you probably needed more than any of us. That's Suzanne Spanadukas. I could go on and on, but the feedback's just been absolutely brilliant. And so I'm really glad it went by. Oh, here's another one. I should mention Sue Chippendale. Sue Chippendale, I love you. You give wonderful hugs, Sue. Sorry for the delay. The dormitory style was great. First time for me, but it was ideal. The food was amazing and superb, tasty, fresh, and good quality, and made with love. No, it would have not been the same if we had other outside caterers. It was just perfect the way it was. Classes and treatments were ideal, and we had plenty of time to chat with each other. The pace and timing was ideal. That's what she is. Really enjoyed myself, and I miss you all. I drove home smiling. Thank you, love Sue. I could go on and on, right? Because there's quite a lot of guests. Look, so the feedback's been incredible. Everybody was really happy. But I'm not lying, Caroline. It took a lot out of me, and I haven't organized another retreat yet. But if I do, I'm going to have to change it because I don't know if I would want to do it again because of the toll it took on me. And like, there's not much money involved. Like, it's just hard work. Like, there's not much profit or gain. It's just, it takes so much out of you to do this. But at the same time, it was just magical seeing all these happy people and the feedback's amazing. So if I do it again, I'm going to have to think how I do it. But you can see now, coming out of that weekend, I think there was a reason why my back went on the Monday. What do you think?
Do you know what the word that comes out of my mind as soon as I hear all that?
Yeah.
Delegation. Delegate.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I run retreats once a year as well. And well, mine's only once a year because I tell you, it's so much work. But delegation is so important. Yes, you've got to have everything right. So it's the run up to it that's so important, that everything is in gear. The people's what they need to eat, etc., etc., etc. But delegate that you can actually walk away from it for a few minutes, and don't do every single class. You don't need to. Give yourself 10 minutes rest in between. If you've got people doing things, that's your rest time. Even if you're sitting in a corner writing notes about it, doesn't matter. This is old age talking. Delegation is so important. But yes,
I've been very bad at delegating. You're right. So all my life, because part of it was I've got such a high bar that I apply to myself, which is really not fair. But then I also have a very high bar for other people, which I also think is even worse. And I am such a perfectionist and I like things done really well. And I oftentimes in the past have been disappointed by so many people who just can't do the simplest stuff and they just let you down. And you think, you know what, I'd rather do it myself. And by the time it takes me to explain something to someone, get it done half decently, do you know what, I could have done it myself. So then I just got used to doing that. And even as a surgeon, as a consultant, I was acting as a porter, getting the patient, because you know what, I would do it in 5 minutes. And if I relied on the porter, we were still waiting an hour for the patient to be brought into the. So I'm going down to collect the patient. I'm mopping in between cases because again, if we wait for the cleaner or whatever to come, we're just all twiddling our thumbs. I would position the patient because again, if I do it properly my way, I know the operation will go perfectly well. But if the patient's not positioned in the right way and you can't get the surgical access, you're humming and hawing, you're stressing, you're huffing and puffing, you're telling people to hold the leg or this and that. It's just easier if you just do it yourself, because you know what, guaranteed someone's going to mess it up. And then you lay out the instruments the right way, and then you know what, I just became an animal of efficiency. So I'd get 6 to 8 operations done in a day, and my colleagues would do 3 or 4. But they would sit in the coffee room and they wouldn't give a shit, and they would be happy for the downtime. And I was like, nope. And I tried to train the people around me, but the problem was every week it was different staff. So the moment you train someone up, they were gone. So then you get to a point where you're like, oh, well, sod this. There's no point training anyone. I might just, because every week it's a new member of staff. And literally they come up and go, hi, Mr. Malik, I've never done this before. Can you show me what to do? I'm like, no, it's okay. I'll just, It's just because I went through that period where you would train people and then you just realize there's no point. Like they just disappear and then you've got new people. So over the years, I've just got used to just getting my shit done myself. So if you look now, I'm in the studio on my own, the door's open, my chickens are flying around. I'm my own cameraman, my own lighting, my own audio, my own visual, I do my post-production, my editing, I do the scheduling, I do research, I do everything myself. I'm not a very good delegator. I appreciate that.
I think the big thing is that you're only as strong as your weakest link. And that is scary.
Yeah.
So when we had horses, we had, from farming, we went into breeding horses, and it was so frustrating because you'd have to follow people around doing anything. And in the end, Richard and I just used to do it all ourselves because it was far easier. But having said that, I think you just have to, this is why I'm a one-man band and I know how much I can do. I probably overdid it a bit a couple of weeks ago, but do you know what? I only do what I want to do. This is why every week I have somebody that messages me an email saying, oh, we've seen you on Instagram. We are this, we can build you so many thousand followers, And I go, do you know what? I don't want that. I don't want that. Same. I want to know who's following me. I want to be able to say, as you said with your Susan Chippendale. See, I remember things. So you will remember her, and she'll love it that you remembered her. And it's like that with all clients. Yes, sometimes I have to look at a photo that I've worked with them, but you tell me something, and I can remember all about you. I've got a memory like an elephant.
No, I can tell. I actually think you're very similar to me. By the way, just very quickly before we move on, your husband's all right, yeah? The one that you found upside down the stairs. Yeah, he's okay, yeah?
Yeah, he's okay. And actually, the good news, because I always have to take positive out of it, it showed that he actually probably needs another stent. So great. We wouldn't have known about that, and it could have been a heart attack without having the new stent.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So all positive comes from negative.
Yes. We need to talk about hearts next time. Privately.
Yes.
I'll tell you all about heart disease and hearts. How you can make sure that you have a healthy heart. No, I agree. Listen, like you're very similar to me. I can tell because you do these classes, I think, twice a week. All your people that sorry, twice a day. Not twice a week.
One day
twice a day.
1 day off. Yes.
Okay, 1 day off. Twice a day you're doing them, 6 days a week. And, having done a few, they're hard work. Like, it's amazing how just a yoga mat and your own body, you can do so much and be quite tired and exhausted and work little muscles you didn't even think you had. I will be coming back to some classes, I promise you. They're brilliant and they're entertaining and they're fun and it's just a change. And it's really, and I think to myself while I do, oh God, bloody hell, that was tiring. And I think, you're going to just do this again later on. And you do them. It's not like you're sitting on the side just barking orders at everybody. You're literally doing the exercise yourself. I mean, that's great exercise for you, but it's tough 6 days a week. And everybody. And you're having to come up with a different class every single time. And, it's a lot of work. And then, you were sending me lots of text messages, checking in on me. Now, I'm not under any delusion or illusion. I know you're messaging lots of people. It's not just me, special Doc Malik. You're just messaging me. But, you must be messaging lots of people. And it was so nice. In the darkest period, when you and Sarah Jane were helping me out, it was really nice hearing from you guys. And you're checking, you're like, how are you doing, Doc? Are you okay? How's today? A little sunshine emoji. It's really nice. It's nice knowing someone's there to take care of you or keep an eye on you or just check to see whether you're deteriorating. Because sometimes when you're not well, you kind of like lose sense of where you are and all sense of perspective. You're like, between the woods and the trees and you just don't know anymore. Like, am I getting better? Am I not? And just having someone independent assess you and go, you look like you're getting better. Just gives a lot of comfort. And then you go, okay, it's okay. I'm not getting worse. I'm potentially getting a little bit better. So these little wee things actually do make a big difference. So well done you, but I can imagine it takes a lot of toll, a lot of energy, a lot of time. It's not easy. Not easy. Hi, everybody. Sorry for the interruption. I don't know why I'm saying sorry. It's my podcast, and I need to advertise my consultation service. As you know, folks, I don't have any sponsors. How many big podcasts do you know of that don't have any sponsors? I'm supported by you, the tiny percentage who subscribe to my Substack or my Spotify paid channel. So to those few of you, I just want to say thank you so much. I love you. And hopefully the ones of you who are listening for free, you're still helping by rating the show 5 stars and spreading it on your social media far and wide, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, your WhatsApp groups or whatever. Please introduce them to my podcast. Hopefully some of them will subscribe to my channel. But I also want to take this opportunity to talk about my one-to-one consultation service I'm offering. Now, I'm not acting as your doctor or diagnosing and treating you, in which case some of you might be thinking, well, what the heck are you doing? What kind of consultation is this? Folks, if only you knew, I'm about advocating for your healthcare needs. I'm about educating you, empowering you, helping you navigate the minefield that's the sick care system. I'm helping you ask the right questions from your doctor, to get the best out of your consultation, to answer your unanswered questions, and to give you a second opinion, and so much more. I can prepare you for surgery. I can give you alternative views on different treatments. I can introduce you to other healthcare practitioners. But listen, enough of what I'm saying. Let's look at 2 reviews from today. There's Matt. I've learned so much from Doc Malik by listening to his podcast interviews. I felt he could help me with my personal health and well-being during a stressful time in my life, and he didn't disappoint. He offered me some great advice concerning a wide range of things, including diet, lifestyle, sleep, physical activity, and trauma, and he also guided me to other sources of help. He is a fountain of wisdom with a massive heart and has stepped up to help people properly in the way that your typical doctor does not. Thank you, Doc. Well, no, thank you, Matt, for a lovely review. And then secondly, Eloise. Not only does this man have what appears to me an incredible depth and breadth of true knowledge, he has the biggest heart. I felt so genuinely cared for around sensitive health issues that I may not ordinarily wish to speak about. A consultation is a trusted, safe space which was essential for me as I have tried everything under the sun and I'm aware of my own blocks. This straight-talking, caring approach ensures you leave the consultation with a no-nonsense, clear plan on what's important to change, how to go about it, and recommendations of other specialists in the field where Doc Malik believes you would benefit from. He is considerate of costs, so offers multiple ways to go about protocols to get the best for you without spending a fortune unnecessarily. The mental relief I got from this consultation was in fact priceless. So there you go, folks. Don't take it from me. If this resonates with you, check out my website, docmalik.com/consultations. Have a look. And if you think that, there's a calling there, book a consultation with me. Right, folks. Back to the show. Thank you for taking time to listen. I love you loads. So much. And honestly, for the recent listeners who've left Apple reviews and 5-star ratings on Spotify, I see you. I see what you've done, and I'm very grateful. Thank you, folks. God bless. Bye-bye.
Well, I only work in person once a week, so it's lovely going into my studio and working. But I love it because I just run upstairs, so it is easy. And I'm somebody that I can't have a monkey on my back. As soon as something comes in on a phone, I have to reply to it. So I try and get back to any of my clients within a couple of hours if I'm working with people. But also to have somebody there to know. I know the first time you messaged me, it was on a Sunday afternoon, my day off. But
sorry,
it's fine. So I just sent you a Zoom login and we worked together because I can't see people who are in pain at that time. And if I can help release that, then that is so important to me. So important.
No,
so
I could tell.
There for them.
I could tell. You didn't know who I was. You didn't really care. You just knew that I was in pain. And, I could tell you really wanted to reassure me and help me. And, I'm very grateful for that. I mean that, Caroline. I was very touched. You're the real deal. Very genuine. Okay, let's move on. So basically, with regards to, your own fitness, do you mix it up? Do you do just the exercises that you do in the class, or do you do other forms of exercise?
Okay, so I've ridden all my life. I gave up riding about 2 years ago because I didn't want to be that 60 whatever year old being picked up by the Devon Air ambulance. I wanted to be, I hear of so many people my age having really bad accidents and I haven't got time for that. I think as you get older, you know what you need to do. And by doing my classes every day, it keeps all my joints alignment. It keeps my body supple. It keeps it functional. I don't want to go and run a marathon. I could walk 4 or 5 miles if I want to, if I want to. So I can do whatever I want to do. But I'm quite happy, I'm quite happy where I am. I love it. We walk the dogs, look after my husband because I do love him to pieces. And life is just good as it is.
I love it. I love it. And now you've just written a book. Can you tell me a little bit about your book?
Okay, so I've written the first book. That's been out for about 4 years, Heal Your Pain. And that is, it's a go-to reference. You're in pain, you go to the area that hurts. And so it is symptom driven. But now my new book, which I shoot the photographs for next week, and that's going to be teaching people to do what I do. So it's going to be more of a reference book for people like Sarah Jane and all the others that have worked with me. So instead, I work with a guy called Casey Lyons in America, who is fantastic. He has been in posture alignment for about 30 odd years, and he is like a guru for me. And when I don't know something, I go to Casey and say, what do you think? And then, oh yeah, I had a really bad one 2 weeks ago. This woman I was seeing, I love her to pieces. When she listens to this, she'll know, because I had her out in front of the class so many times. So anyway, she came to see me. She was really, really wonky. I can describe it as though she got a child on her hip. She was standing like that the whole time. So did the exercises with her. Perfect, no pain, felt much better, etc., etc., etc. So that was on the Thursday. And then the Wednesday, she messaged me. Date day's a Wednesday. She messaged me and she said, Caroline, I'm in such pain. I'm like, what have you done? And she went, nothing. I've done nothing. I'm in such pain. And I was like, shit, what's happened? What's happened? I take it on board. What have I done wrong? And I was so worried. I sent her photos to Casey. I said, Casey, what haven't I seen? What haven't I seen? And so I worked with her straight away when I got home. We did some exercise. Yeah, that felt much better. Da, 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 da. She came to an online class the next day, an in-person class the next day. And she went, I forgot to tell you, I went to the gym. I did 60 squats. I'm like, it's a bit like you with a kettlebell, isn't it? Doing this when, give your body a chance.
Yeah.
So, do you know what? All my people that I see enables them to do what they want to do. I work with the Army, the Navy, the police. I work with athletes through to, my eldest one is 92 at the moment, who still plays tennis. Mad woman. So it doesn't matter what you want to do. My exercise will enable you to do Pilates, yoga, whatever you want to do. If you want to run a marathon, you'll get better quicker afterwards. God, I do talk a lot, don't I?
No, it's good. Keep talking. So when people do your online classes, because not everybody can come down to Devon for an in-person one. Your online classes.
Yeah.
What do you recommend people do? Like, really, should they sign up for 10 online sessions once a week? Should they do it twice a week? Should they do it forever? Should they sign up for the year? I mean, what do you recommend? What should people be doing?
Right. So when I work with somebody, I look as though I'm giving them a toolbox. And so I'm giving them a toolbox of exercises. So they start learning what is good for them. And everybody is different. As I said, 3 people could have exactly the same problem, but they need 3 different exercises. So once you've got your toolbox, that's great if you see me as a one-to-one. Now, if somebody wants to just see what I do, the first class is always free of charge, because not everyone loves me. I'm a bit of a Marmite. You're either going to love me or you're going to hate me. So,
and do you care?
Yeah, I do a little bit. But you know what? There's always somebody else who needs help. So you forget it and move on. And I do try and look after all my people. So if you come as a one-to-one, I always log on half an hour before every single class, and that's all my clients' free time. So it's 5 hours of free time with me every single week. I sound like a saint, don't I? I'm not really, honestly. I'm not, but I just like to help people. And then when I work on a class, people say to me, well, what are we going to do at class? I've got no idea until my class arrives. And then somebody goes, oh, I got neck ache today. Oh, I got hip ache today. Oh, I got my foot hurts today. My big toe hurts today. My jaw hurts today. So then I just run the class about what we're doing, what that person wants. Sometimes there's somebody that needs a lot more help, and the class understands that, but it's going to do them good anyway. And so every class is different. Now, they can either do drop-in after their freebie. Free, then it's a £5 for a drop-in, or £40 a month, and they can either do 40 classes or 1 class. If it's 1 class, that's really expensive. I would not pay £40 for 1 class. But if they want to do 40 classes, £1 a class, it's nothing. Most people do, I reckon, between about 3 to 5 classes a week.
That's pretty good. They're very entertaining, and they're very doable. And you can come at it from any level of, exercise and age. So, even, I know there's some people who are pre and post total knee replacements doing it, and you don't need to be a triathlete or a marathon runner, but you could also be that, and I still think it will benefit you. I need to give myself some more self-love and create the time to do that as well. I need to just, one of the reasons I knew I was getting better was my diary suddenly got rammed again. And I think, again, my lower back going was an element of, hey, slow down, Buster. Like, really? Like, you're meant to be giving yourself some more time and relaxing. But yeah, I'm like you, I give everything. I'm also Marmite, by the way. And all my life I've been told that. And in my younger years, I used to get really upset when people didn't like me. I was like, man, I try so hard. I'm a good person. Why don't you like me? Now, like when people say they don't like me, I'm not so upset. I'm like, you know what's fine. There's enough people who do like me. And if I do good by a lot of people and I just do what I think is the right thing and I'm being true to myself, that's all that matters. There will always be some people that don't like me. And it's okay. It's not their fault. It's not my fault. It's just the way it is. It's the way the cookie crumbles. And it's all right. So I think that's just come with time and age and a bit more self-love and self-esteem. I'm not worried about pleasing everyone. So yeah, I can see why some people might not like your style, but I think that'd be a very small minority. I think most people would have an absolute hoot and giggles, and you make things fun and interesting. So if they don't like it, they're lost as far as I'm concerned, you know?
Do you know, I learned so much from my classes as well, all the people in the class. And something I learned this week, because I was talking about it, I never talk about clients in person, but I said, oh my God, I was working with a client last week and he was walking up and down in my studio. I was going, right, now, what does that feel like? He was like, I don't know. And I was like, right, what's this here? Like, don't know. And honestly, I was thinking, God, can I hit you with a baseball bat so you'll feel something? And anyway, I got back to the class that night and I was like, oh my God, I couldn't understand it. This person couldn't feel what I was trying to feel. And when a couple of my people in the class were like, but Caroline, some people, they live in their heads and some people live in their bodies. Now, I live in my body. I'm not in here very often. I don't live in my head very often. So I found it quite hard to understand that he was in his head. He wasn't feeling what was going on in his body. And the class taught me, just chill out, just try and get him to feel. And they said, you do it all in class. You're saying, does this side feel better? Does that side feel better? Whatever. So actually, you're teaching us how to feel our bodies better than we can. Because some people, if they've had trauma, which I get a lot of people with trauma, and I can usually tell within about 10 minutes whether somebody, it's in their mind or in their body. Now, saying it's in their mind is no lesser thing than in their body, because when I've had my back go, that's been in my brain. All my brain's trying to say to me is, do you know what? If you're not thinking about Richard and you're not thinking about him not being right, then you're not going to be thinking so much. So it gives me my body hurt. And that's what happens. If somebody has had a lot of trauma in the past, which I've got lots of clients that have, then they can't feel what's going on in their body. They get pain and it gets crippling. So what I have to do is try and make it a happy environment for them and safe.
Okay. Over the years, what are your top tips in terms of living a healthy, pain-free life?
Number one. This is my number one, because you know how I like to make things much easier. So if I say to people now, keep your knees soft when you're walking. When I was learning to drive a car, we were never automatic, so we had clutches. Now, the driving instructor would say, never ride the clutch. So I classed people's knees as somebody's clutch. Now, clutches are really expensive to repair, okay? Put a new clutch in, loads of dosh. Now, I think of your quads like your brakes. So if you want to use anything on a car, you use your brake, you don't use your clutch, don't ride it. So don't ride your knees and use your quads. If you use your quads more and keep softer in the knees, you won't have knee problems.
Okay, that's number one.
Number one. Number two is, I think, look after yourself. I think it's very important. I don't know whether the word love yourself, because that sounds a little bit, too much for me. Like yourself, enjoy what you do. And also, if you're not happy in an environment and you're not happy in a situation, then try and change it, because we only come this way once. I believe we come back again, but that's beside the point. And also, just learn to rest as well. Restative exercises can get more movement in your posture. Just lying with your legs up on a settee, back on the ground, arms out, palms up, and let everything sink into the ground can really be a big help to the body.
Yeah. No, I found that position quite comfortable, actually. And what about things like diet and sleep? You ever looked at those kind of things? What you eat?
Yeah, I think it's taken me till I was about 62 or 3 to understand how to eat. And I was this person that could eat death by chocolate for breakfast. I'm so naughty with my eating. I eat breakfast and I eat lunch and I don't eat till the next day. That suits me personally. So I try not to tell people what to do. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian. I've got people who I can put you in touch with who are amazing, but just try not to eat too much sugar. I don't drink alcohol. I haven't drunk alcohol for about 10 or 15 years, which is great. And I don't get hot flushes because of that. Menopause can be a nasty little bite you up the bum. And sleep. I was worrying about my sleep, and I bought myself an Apple Watch, which I don't wear very often, but I wore it for the first few times at night, and I was getting 8.5 hours sleep. I was thinking, I wake up all the time, and I wasn't. And I don't get a lot of deep sleep, probably 23 to 43 minutes, but I do get restful sleep. And it's hard when you're a Tigger, when you've got Duracell batteries in you the whole time. You're like this, what am I going to do next? It's hard, and it's hard to live with somebody like me, I tell you. I'm non-stop. A bit like you, probably.
Oh, yeah. Trust me. I can see one when I do, It takes one to know one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it sounds like you're already doing intermittent fasting. So you're eating breakfast and lunch. And then after 2:00, you're not eating anything until the next day? So you're eating in a kind of 6-hour window? 1:00. So that's a 5-hour window.
No. What time do you reckon I eat breakfast?
Well, actually, it might be 6 in the morning.
Yeah. I eat breakfast at 6 and I eat my second meal at 12.
Okay, so that's a 6-hour window then. Okay, so you're fasting 18 hours a day. You're doing intermittent fasting. Very good for you, by the way. Well done.
I love it.
It's the way to go.
I don't get hungry. Yeah. But that's for me. This is the thing. We can't put everybody into the way we eat.
Yes,
we can't do that.
Yes,
no,
we can.
We can't.
I'm joking. You have to do it my way.
Or it's no way. So no, some people do it the other way. They eat at lunchtime and eat in the evening. It's fine. Some people, Richard has 2 boiled eggs every morning. He eats a small lunch and a small supper. That suits him. But I can't do this tiny portions and eat 1 chocolate. Oh, how boring is that? No.
Do you know what? You talk about your husband quite a lot. You really love him, don't you?
I love him.
Why do you love him so much?
45. Oh, he's my rock. He's so cool. He's an old git. He's 11 years older than me, so he's getting an old git, but he is just the best man in the world. Yeah.
Why? Why though?
He lets me be me. He doesn't put any constraints on me. It was so funny because I said, what am I going to wear tomorrow? And I was going to wear this really bright shirt with this over the top. And he went, no, he'd go, white shirt, look classy. I'm like, oh, I love you. So yes.
So you've been married 40 plus years?
45 years.
So what is the secret to a successful marriage?
Compromise. Loving. Laughing. Laughing's big. Laughing's really big. Richard said to me yesterday morning, he said, you make me laugh every day. Don't know quite what that means, but yeah, it's being happy, isn't it? And honestly, if you knew the words I call him, he thinks, oh no, I can't. That's too rude to say on this, but we laugh, and that's what it's all about, isn't it?
You can say anything. This isn't a PG show, so you can say whatever you like.
It rhymes with banker, and that's his second nickname.
Okay. All right.
But then
okay.
I just love it. Well, I think, but you're the same as me. You've got a fab marriage, you've got great kids, and you love family life.
Yeah, I'm very similar. It's just I think I talk
Yeah.
about my wife quite a bit. I love her to bits. It's our 11th anniversary next week, and I've known her for 13, 14 years now, and I think she loves me more now than at any point when we've been together. It's funny, every year we love each other more and more, which is really nice. It's very, very nice.
That's good.
And
you know,
but it's kind
we
of
are
rare.
lucky.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
going to say, I think it's very
We are
rare.
lucky. I think it's very hard when I see clients, and I think that's another thing. When people live by themselves, they become all encompassing in themselves. And I see that a lot. And it's trying to pull them out of that is quite hard. And also grief can be quite debilitating for somebody. So, yeah.
It really is. So I've just done an online consultation, because I do lots of medical typey consultations, lifestyle coaching, whatever. And someone just wants some help getting through a divorce. So, they were having suicidal thoughts. I've done 2 sessions with them, and they're in such a better place. They're like, I'm so glad I've done this. Like, it's just brought clarity to my head. I was just being spun around, and just felt really lost. I just wanted to kill myself. And I got really upset when I heard that. I was like, what? And now, like, literally two sessions there, like, they're just so much better. But it was brought back memories. It's just, for me, I went for a divorce, and I just know so many people who are now single or divorced or unhappily married. And it's really sad. And, you just look at the figures and the numbers, like, the number of people who lived alone in the 1950s was like 5%. And the people who now live alone in a house is like 30%. It's like 6 times it's gone up by. The dates, age at which you got married was like, early 20s in your 50s, and now it's like early 30s. And the number of households that have got children as well. Infertility's gone up through the roof. I find that people are just a lot lonelier now, or even if they're with someone, they're still lonely in that relationship. And when I hear you always talk about your husband on the online courses, and you're always dropping his name here and there. He's clearly a very big figure in your life. Like, It's huge. And it's very nice to see. It's beautiful. It's very nice.
Don't you think, though, that, you go, I argue with everyone, by the way. You look in the 50s, you've got to be thinking about coming out of the Second World War. There must have been a lot of women who were by themselves at that point. And then we're looking now, I'm Richard's third wife. I say he married the first for lust, the second for money, and the third for love. So that's how I judge me. But he also had to do something while I was growing up because of the difference in age. But I just think it can become a very selfish society now, that we don't look after other people. The communities aren't there anymore. Luckily, I'm in Devon, and I can walk down the street and I see so many people. You see huddles of people talking to each other. But I think if people live in cities, it's much more by themselves, because they don't know people. They're frightened to talk to people. If you were to walk down a road in London and go, "Oh, hi, how are you today?" somebody would think you're going to mug them. So I think it's very different.
That's one of the ironies, that if you live somewhere which is heavily populated, densely populated, with lots of people around you, you tend to be lonelier. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
And places that are sparsely populated and there's less people around you, you're actually more connected. It's kind of funny that, and then the cities do that. You just go on the London Tube. It's rammed. No one's talking to each other. No one's giving eye contact. Everybody's looking down at the floor. And it's bizarre. Like, there's no chatter. There's no laughter. There's no, like, what's happened to people? So I don't like big cities either. I've become a country bumpkin. I like countryside, and I like, going into a small village and a village shop and just talking to people. You can talk, so can I, lady.
Also, I think the other thing is that when you are, Richard and I are really strong together. And I got this great massage guy that I go and have a massage with, Stephen. He's such a sweetheart. And we were talking on Monday, and I said, when Richard had his accident, I was all of a sudden, who do I call? Who do I, I knew who to call, the ambulance and things. But I was like, I haven't got a beastie. I haven't got a bestie, which sounds really awful. I've got friends in Sussex. I've got friends here. But because Clarke is my bestie friend, I hadn't got anyone to call, and I felt quite lonely on that.
So how old are you?
I'm 66.
How old is Richard?
77. Ooh. Oh, git. Yeah, so I know, unless I have an accident, his likelihood of Richard going before me, and I tell you what, I will be on with you. Oh, what am I going to do? So no, but I've got great friends around me, but there's nobody that I would treat as Richard. I'm not a girly that goes out with the girls. I'm happy with Clarkie's company, so it is hard.
But you need to like think about things. I told my mum when my dad was diagnosed with cancer, you need to prepare, just so that when it happens, like your world doesn't end. You need to talk about it. You need to be aware about it, and hopefully Richard will live for another 15 years. The average life expectancy is what now for men? I don't know. And I even talk about with my kids. I talk about this with my kids. I talk about funeral planning with my kids. Believe it or not, I want to have a living funeral as well. So when you're going to die, or if you get a sense, or you might have a diagnosis or whatever, you just say, you know what, I want to celebrate my life before I die, because I won't be able to celebrate once I'm dead. So let's celebrate my life and call all my friends, get some great food, have a big barbecue, have some music, and you know what, say a nice few words. And then I don't miss out on my funeral. And I tell my kids how my funeral is going to be. Everyone's going to come in their brightest clothes. I want amazing music. They know the kind of songs and things that I've highlighted already. And I want them to have a fun time. I want there to be lots of cookies and cakes and burgers and meat. I want them to have a wonderful time at my funeral. So, you talk about all these things, and I just think it helps planning. So I was talking about this with someone called Richard Hirschman, who's an embalmer from the US. And he goes, the problem in the West is that we don't talk about death anymore. It's like a taboo. It's like, oh my God. Like, why is Ahmed talking about Richard dying with Caroline? God almighty. Like, because we don't talk about it anymore. Everything, the one thing that's guaranteed is we're going to all die. And the question is like, how are we going to die? Leading up to it, afterwards, how are we going to prepare for it? We don't talk about it. We don't remember the dead as we should. And other civilizations just seem to have done a better job at it, I think. And what happens then is when it happens to us, we're not prepared. We kind of go through this shock trauma. And then it's quickly just hushed over and people were forgotten. I've been to so many funerals now. And I hate the funerals that I've been to. Like, they're just so sterile and clinical and put the body in the ground or cremate them, and then you just move on, and that's it. And I was just like, we need to talk about death more in our society, I think, but not in a morbid way. Just planning and celebratory,
I think you'll just need a party. That's all you need.
I just want a party.
You just want a party.
I want a freaking party with great food.
You want a party and be the centre of attention. That's all you want.
Yeah, and I don't want to do any work. I just want to sit there, sip my virgin mojito, and bite into my brisket. That's all I want to do. I don't want to lift my finger.
I love it. No, I think it is important, and Clarke and I do talk about it. And yes, it will be a great loss to either of us, if either of us do anything. But I think we are realistic about it as well. And for me, luckily, I've got all my clients. I got all my classes. And I will not be allowed to go down because I have got responsibilities. I've got all these people to look after. And they know they've got to look after me as well.
You're like the mother hen. You really are. Like, you're just looking after all your clients. It's very sweet. I know you've got a lot of love for them all. I mean, it's impossible for you not to. The way you know all their details and facts, you take so much joy in helping them and getting to know them. It's very nice. So if anyone's listening, definitely, join in the class and see what you're missing out on. But it might create a massive headache for you. Can you imagine, like, tomorrow you've got all these hundreds of people wanting to join and you're like, what?
Depends how many emails I send out. I send 350 emails every single class. So I usually get between, I'd say, 25 and 35 people a class. During lockdown, we got more than that. But I can take 100 people on class. I can do it.
So talking about lockdown, have your views about lockdown and COVID changed over time? Or
yes.
In what way?
Yeah. I would never have another jab. I wouldn't. I think we were frightened into the first jab, and especially being older, and slightly vulnerable. I'm not slightly vulnerable. I tell you, tough as old nails. But Clarke was slightly vulnerable, so that was a fright. We needed to get it, and also one of our best friends is a doctor, and he got us the vaccines very quickly. I think Western medicine is amazing of what it can do, but we don't think enough of why things are happening. So I'm very much with anything now, if anyone's got, it's like things from cholesterol through to whatever. Why do people have high cholesterol? Not what to do about it. Let's put someone on a statin or whatever. It's why have we got it? And cases going down that route of why is it happening? Why? And he's done a lot of research on that. And I think we don't go to why enough. And I don't believe there would ever be another lockdown because I don't think society would allow it.
Why would you not take another jab?
Because I don't feel that we know enough about things. And also, I just don't want to put shit in my body that I don't want in my body. I take magnesium because I know I've got a magnesium deficiency. So it's really hard. You do have to find what... like I would tell my class, right, I'm taking magnesium. I find sleeping better with it, and I find my legs are better with it, that I don't get restless legs. Now, that doesn't mean to say everybody gets on magnesium tomorrow. You suss it out. You research it yourself and see, now, does that tick all my symptoms? Oh, I might need magnesium, or I might not need magnesium. So I just think supplements and all sorts of things, you need to research it. You definitely need to research. And I don't believe anyone... You shouldn't guide... You can guide people, but you shouldn't dictate to people.
Yeah, well, we had that, didn't we? We had dictating on a massive scale and coercion and guilt tripping and fear porn. Fear is a very powerful tool. You ever thought about using fear to get people to sign up to your thing? I mean, just put the fear. I should put fear into people so they subscribe to my channel. If you don't become a paid subscriber, oh my God, a lightning bolt will come down and strike. I mean, that's what the government did. They used fear. They used fear to like cajole us and coerce us, and that in itself.
We could be really naughty. We could be really naughty here. And if you think of everything, I am, what would I say? I'm spiritual, but I am not religious. So religion, there's more wars through religion. There's more of control. That's why it's control of the masses, isn't it? And they've got to have some sort of guidance. Well, that's so rude, isn't it? But I suppose some people do need help more than others. I don't know, but I'm so not like that.
Well, I'm the same. I believe in God, and I just have a direct communication with God, and I don't need my maker. I don't need a religion to tell me what to do. Over the years, I've come to the same conclusion. It's all about guilt, shame, and control. So much of religion. It's just man-made. It's man-made. And yeah, there's nuggets of good stuff in it, but I'd say to people, like, what membership doesn't have good things about it? Like, you need to have something good about it for you to join, but no, they're all just captured by man. But one of the things I think what COVID taught for me, and I don't regret COVID. I'm where I am now because of it. But one of the things it taught me was, if they could lie to us about this, and if they could coerce us and force us, what else are they doing? What else have they done in the past that's wrong? What else could they be doing in the future that's wrong? And I just don't trust government. I don't trust them. I think the more I've looked into it, they have profited from these vaccine sales. They profit the companies that are behind it. They give them immunity. I mean, imagine that any other product that doesn't matter how bad it is, you're immune from any liability. What does that? That's a perverse incentive. That means that you're incentivizing people to create crap, and even if it's harmful, it doesn't matter because they will still profit from it. So you've got perverse incentives, conflicts of interest, deep-seated corruption, ignorance at the top, and then we're meant to trust these people? Jeez Louise. I mean, I try and get organic food and healthy food, and then you want me to put this toxic gloop inside me? Yeah. Hard pass. Sorry. No.
Okay, all right, but the thing is, all right, so I'm going to apologize to all my clients watching this, that I will not bring this up at class next time. All right, so the next thing is organic. We were organic farmers. Now, this is just typical. All right, so you think of the organic being absolutely the best.
Oh, no. By the way, I know the organic fraud, but yeah, carry on.
Well, we need to put something on our land to grow more grass. So we didn't want to use nitrogen and things like that. We didn't want to use the chemicals. So we wanted to use a thing called fiberphos, which is organic seaweed. And we went to the Soil Association and we said, right, we want to use fiberphos to go on our land. No, it's not recognised. We're like, it's organic seaweed. What are you talking about? They didn't pay the Soil Association so many £1,000 to be on their register. They wouldn't pay it. So because they wouldn't pay it, it was classed as non-organic. And they said to us, well, isn't there a dairy farm near you that you could just go and get some slurry and put that on the land? And we were like, yeah, but they're not organic. Well, that doesn't matter. Well, I just thought we came out of the organic situation after that. No good.
You're not the first person who's told me this, so much like this. And they're now putting human slurry on the fields as well.
Yeah. Human poo. You can smell it. Yeah. Up on the Downs, the South Downs, you can really smell it. It's horrible.
It's horrible. Yeah. But that's organic. It's horrific. And they're laced with heavy metals and antibiotics and God knows what else. Yeah, but it's also like the fair trade things and the coffee and the chocolate. It's basically, you're paying for that label and it's a profit money making machine. People have hijacked people's good natures and intentions. People want wholesome, healthy food that doesn't have glyphosate on it or insecticide and pesticide. But then people have hijacked it and found a way to monetize it and make money out of it. It's the same like you want to buy coffee from a local farmer in Africa, not a big conglomerate. But even those, there is all these things are just a scam now. Honestly, it's so disappointing when you find out.
I think you've just got to live your life how it's as simple for you as you can and as the way you want to live it.
Yeah. All right, listen, before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to get off your chest?
No, I don't think so. Come to a class for you. You need to come to a class and we need to do that back. I'll send you the exercise to do, but we'll work together to do it. I just want to make sure you're doing it right.
So just to let you know, it's more on the right than the left, 60 to 40. And I'm kind of like lurched over to my left. I can't really stand straight tall. Anyway, what I do want to ask you is my last question of the day, Caroline. And by the way, you've been brilliant. And I appreciate the fact that you've driven to a dedicated studio to do this podcast. That's hardcore. I've never had any of my guests do that before. So hat off to you. Well done.
Well, I didn't want to get it wrong. And also, I'd have probably looked better light-wise in my studio. But I just thought, if I get this wrong, I'm going to get it wrong. So I thought, no, I've come to the depot down in Plymouth. And I tell you, they have been amazing. I love them. They're really good.
I'm really glad. Right. So my question is, I'm afraid, back to death. And I ask this to everybody. You're on your deathbed. You're about to meet your maker. Before you pass away, you got all your loved ones around you, all your friends and loved ones. And, this is your time to just leave them and pass some words of wisdom and advice. What would you say before you pass on?
Live every day Just live for today. Don't live for tomorrow and don't live for yesterday. Live for now, this moment. I could walk out of here and get hit by a bus. Say, do you know what? Just live for now and no regrets whatsoever. Whatever you've done has been allowed to make you who you are now. So even if you've been divorced, if you've had bad things happen in the past, try and let it go and just live now and enjoy the moment. That's it.
I love that. And I think, there's just no point worrying about the past and no point worrying about the future. It's all about the now. It's funny, I had a podcast with David Icke. That was really fascinating. And he was like, time is a linear construct because man has made it such. But you know what? When you're in the past, it was the now. When you're in the future, it'll be the now. Maybe all times exist at the same time, just in different dimensions or whatever, parallel universes. It's all happening at the same time. It's kind of bizarre. It makes you think like, doesn't it? It's like, wow. Makes your head just go. But I think it is about living now. My dad was, for the longest time, save your money, don't go on holidays, blah, blah, blah. Look, you're just being reckless and, no, you don't have the money to do this, save it up. And then he hit his 70s, got cancer, and just before he died, he goes, I was wrong. Do you know what? I saved my money. I paid off my mortgage. But by the time I could go on holidays, my knees were shot. I couldn't walk more than 200 meters. I'm in constant pain and agony. I don't have my energy and vigor. Do you know what? I regret that now. Do you know all that stuff I told you? Ignore it. Live your life now. Forget about all that. I mean, and I don't mean like forget all your savings and not have pensions and be irresponsible and reckless. I don't mean that. I mean, like, so many people I know are like, I'm going to be happy when I retire. I'm going to be happy when I reach 60 or 50, or I'm going to get happy once I achieve this thing. And it's like, why are you waiting to be happy then? Why don't you just be happy now? If you don't like your job, pack it in, do something else. If you don't like the relationship you're in, do something about it now. Why are you waiting for some point in the future that might never arrive? That's when you're going to be happy. So I couldn't agree more with you.
Do you know, my mother, when my mother died, I'd been to see her that afternoon. She was in hospital and she was very frightened of dying, very frightened. And I sat with her at lunchtime and she said, my father's name is Gordon. And she said, I saw Gordon last night. He was with me last night. I was like, oh, Mum, don't talk like that. You hate talking like this. She said, no, I felt really happy and I was really content. And she died that night. Well, that was lovely, wasn't it? So I do believe people are there when we die and help us as well. So, I don't think we should be frightened to death. I think it's how we die isn't nice necessarily, but it's just a transition to another place.
Absolutely. On that note, thank you so much. You've been wonderful. I'll see you in class. Caroline.
Love you lots.
Quickly, just tell everybody where they can find you.
My website is www.carolinejclarke.com with an E on the Clarke, or just put posture alignment Devon. I will be there. You will see me.
All right, folks. I'll see you guys all at the next class. Thank you so much, Caroline. You're a legend.
Love ya.
I, Ahmed Malik, am a private civilian protected by the Geneva Convention. My Substack, social media posts, and podcasts are my personal experiences, observations, and opinions. This information is for educational purposes only. Although I am a doctor, I am not your doctor, and I am not providing medical or legal advice to you or to the wider public. I am not licensed or registered with the GMC or any other licensing board. The responsibility for the interpretation, due diligence, and use of the information from my Substack and my podcast lies with you, the viewer and/or listener. Please do your research and use your discernment. It is not my intention to harass, intimidate, offend, defame, conspire, blackmail, coerce, or cause anxiety, alarm, or distress to any man or woman, and the information presented here is done so with peaceful and honourable intentions. Enjoy, folks.